The hype has been building for Horizon Zero Dawn 2, the very highly anticipated sequel, guys, in this franchise from Guerrilla Games. And I want to talk about, since we've already made videos on the YouTube channel talking about Horizon Zero Dawn, I wanted to talk in this particular segment of the show. I want to talk about everything that we want in this franchise. And when I say we, I mean myself, but I want to hear your guys' opinions on this as well. You guys may agree with some of my opinions. Some of you may have different opinions, and I would love to hear those in the comment section down below. Horizon Zero Dawn 2, guys. Very highly anticipated, like I said. I think a lot of people are, really looking forward to this game. I think the first game that came out, in this franchise, which was Horizon Zero Dawn, kind of took a lot of people by surprise. People, as they were playing this game or kind of seeing the gameplay elements of it, we're thinking, there's something here that this could be a pretty special game. But at the same time, it kind of reminded me of like a Lost Planet, had kind of similarities to other games, but when this game, first came out, and I got my hands on it and start playing it, man, what an, engaging story. Very, the character development was really great. The open world elements were really cool. I thought overall, this was a really cool starting point for what could be a really big franchise for Guerrilla Games. So as far as the things that I want in this franchise, and I know some of you are going to agree with me on this, is obviously a direct continuation from the first game. I think having a direct continuation and, seeing the character progression of all of the characters in this story and having new characters being added. I would love to see, of course, new characters being added, but also new enemies being added. New, the robots and such. Seeing new, new dinosaur robots, new just robots in general, right? New types of enemies. I think with an open world setting like this, it's important that you have, of course, just a multitude of different ways that not only you can connect with the franchise or with the game, but you're also going up against a multitude of different types of enemies, right? And so I think having that variety of spice is really going to be important in this game. Like I said, I want to see, obviously, a full-blown open world once again. I want to see some new environments, some new, types of, different types of like buildings that you're coming up to, or different landscapes that you're roaming across. I think it's important that having some familiarity, but also having some differences from that first game is going to really set this one apart. You don't really want to copy and paste of Horizon Zero Dawn and the landscapes and such to the second game. You want to have differences, obviously, whether that be graphically or just having new landscapes and new places that you are exploring. I think that's going to be really important as well. Different types of weapons would be great. Having, like I said, going up against different kinds of enemies, having some new characters. And then, of course, another thing for me, guys, that's really big that I think is important to help, the progress of Horizon Zero Dawn as a franchise is going to be having co-op and having multiplayer modes in it. I think it's a game that could have some really great multiplayer elements. I think it could also have some great co-op elements. And what I mean, guys, with having co-op, it's, being able to play with your friends, being able to kind of go on these journeys together, or having missions specific to co-op, I think is really important. And look, the same thing with multiplayer, having ways that you can continue coming back after you beat the main story, having ways that you can, play with your friends, whatever the case might be, after you beat the single player story a couple of times through. And you, instead of moving on to another game, at least you have multiplayer experiences and things of that nature. They can really build upon the fan base that they've kind of started with Horizon Zero Dawn 1. And so I think that's really important, guys. Having more ways than one to connect with this franchise is going to be really important. And look, I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to wait for them to have a really cool, some co-op missions that you can play with your friends, and those things get updated, of course. Having multiplayer experiences that you can play, even if it's just kind of cookie cutter, even though if it's, kind of basic game modes and such. Having more ways to connect with the franchise is very important, guys, when you're talking about trying to build something and really build a a solid fan base and a dedicated fan base that doesn't go and play other games. They're basically just coming back to play Horizon Zero Dawn 2. And so I think that's incredibly important as well. We're not going to get into the competitive side of it, guys, that being like esports and such like that, because really I think in order to even start thinking about becoming an esport, you just have to establish yourself as a multiplayer experience as well as a single player experience. And so I think that they should focus on just trying to make a really good multiplayer experience and really good co-op experience, as well as a really good single player experience. And then if they ever made a third game to kind of round out a trilogy, or they wanted to continue moving onwards with Horizon Zero Dawn, then they can start implementing those things as they move forward. So all in all, guys, the things that I want are probably some of the things that you guys want, but some of them may be different as well. I definitely want to hear from all of you. What do you guys want to see in Horizon Zero Dawn 2? What are the things that you are really want to see the progress, of these main characters? Or is it, different landscapes? Is it different, enemies that you come up against, or new weaponry that you can use? Is it having multiplayer modes? Is it having co-op modes? Is it having a full package, which is what I kind of preach on this channel all the time? Let me know in the comment section below. And for more Horizon Zero Dawn 2 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.